Last week was a crazy week in crypto. We've had AI agents flying. We've had AI coins doing extremely well. XRP flipping Solana and USDT for the top 3 spot in crypto and much, much more. There's a lot happening in the altcoin market. There are some altcoins which are now starting to break out. We're even seeing a little bit of a pullback across the market today. So I want to discuss where the opportunities lie in this alpha-packed video where I'm going to give you my game plan for this week and my top altcoins for this week. At the end of the show, we're going to discuss the AI agents specifically and some of the plays that I'm eyeing there. There are some major updates that I want to give you to my AI agents portfolio. And overall, since I haven't uploaded in a couple of days, today is going to be a very important update because lots and lots happened over the weekend. It was personally one of my best weekends in crypto in a long, long time. Obviously, we have been quite heavily positioned in the AI plays, and many of them are up 1, 2, 3, 400% over the past couple of weeks. So personally, it was an amazing weekend. I kind of just had to sit back, relax, and enjoy the pump. Many of our other alts started to move as well, so it was a very nice weekend, but now it's back to business on Monday, back to finding new opportunities, back to researching, and yeah, today is going to be really, really alpha-packed, so make sure you do watch this entire video because the alpha is going to be sprinkled without. I've got new calls for you today, sprinkled throughout the show. I've got my spreadsheet at the end of the video and a bunch of updates as well on coins that you probably hold. I've also got my top 2 altcoin plays for the week that I want to share in today's video. I do think we are going to see a cool down and maybe some alts going sideways, but there is a specific sector where I think it doesn't really matter what happens to the rest of the market because it just looks really primed to explode, and we're going to discuss that today as well. So if you do enjoy this content, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that post notification bell. If you did watch the last AI video, you would be, probably really enjoying the profits right now because a lot of those coins have done absolutely amazingly. We'll recap a lot of those coins in today's show as well. And I think just overall, we've been pretty spot on in terms of our directionality, obviously having that bullish bias in the market, but also picking the outliers in the market, especially, within the AI sector. That's something that I think we really, really nailed. And I'm happy that thesis is playing out, but I think it still has quite a bit to go, and we'll discuss that. But firstly, let's go through a market update, touching on Bitcoin just quickly. Still looks super bullish. Like looking at the weekly chart, you do have Bitcoin continuing to extend its rally. I do think we are going to see a 100k plus Bitcoin very soon, but we are seeing a bit of a cool down now. Heading on to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see Bitcoin just starting to lose a little bit of momentum. I don't necessarily think we're going to see a huge drop or anything, but I do think we could see 93, 94 over the next couple of days because frankly, the market needs to cool off a little bit. And it has been like an altcoin run primarily over the past week. So we've kind of already seen this rotation starting to happen into alts. And a lot of that is, of course, being driven by coins like XRP, which are like more retail focused coins, and also the Hyperliquid airdrop, which have created hype for altcoins. So Bitcoin cooling off does make sense considering a lot of the momentum is shifting into alts. We are actually seeing alts holding up relatively well versus Bitcoin. Of course, we're seeing them drop a little bit, 3-4% today, but Bitcoin is actually, in terms of Bitcoin dominance, also dropping at the same time. So it's actually been interesting to see that rotation start to happen into altcoins. Looking at the others chart here, we can actually see this is a retest of the breakout level on the altcoin index. So the others chart excludes the top 10. So it's more of the, small mid-cap alts, excluding lots of the large cap alts like XRP, Ethereum, etc. So this is a very good sign in my opinion. I do really want to hold above this level on the weekly, and I think if we could consolidate even for a couple of weeks here, that doesn't necessarily mean the market's going to crash, just, cool down a little bit or certain narratives outperforming. I would love to see us start to have bullish consolidation above this level because that primes us really nicely for that next leg to the upside, which could take us to the previous all-time high on alts. So look, my general disposition towards the altcoin market is I'm still bullish heading into the end of the year, but I do think we will see a bit of a lull maybe over the next couple of days, which may present some decent opportunities to get into some coins that you missed. Obviously, a lot of the AI plays will probably be a focus. We'll discuss some of them today. There's a couple other plays which may also be a focus that is now starting to dip and give you entries in case you missed them. So these are the plays that I would be focusing on if we do see a bit of a dip in the altcoin market, because I do believe it's only a matter of time before Bitcoin breaks 100k. We may see the rotationary capital go back into BTC, the spotlight go back onto Bitcoin for a couple of weeks before altcoins run again, but that is a totally normal part of the cycle, and that is something that I would really welcome, because I think ultimately it would be too early for that killer altcoin, although we all want it. That killer altcoin season happening right now may be a bit premature, because I would love to see Bitcoin continue its rally to the upside, continue to suck liquidity, because we know when we see that Bitcoin top occur, that first leg to the downside, which looks like this, that won't be an altcoin crash. That'll be the altcoin rally of rotationary capital going into alts. And that's where you will eventually see the Bitcoin dominance chart actually breaking down. It's actually testing the weekly MA here, which is a very key level, but like a full Bitcoin dominance breakdown is what you need for alt season. But I don't think it's quite time just yet. Let's actually see how Bitcoin reacts here on the dominance chart. I think we might actually see a bounce over the next couple of days here, but it's interesting. It's looking weak right now, although it has deviated below in the past and ended up reclaiming. So even a one weekly close below, I'm not going to say, oh, it's alt season, but it is something that I'm definitely watching, because Bitcoin dominance is obviously the number one prerequisite for that massive alt season. I guess it doesn't really matter though, and something I've kind of spoken about a lot in my content is you're not really waiting for that like end game alt season. Really, the entire point of having an altcoin portfolio is, pre-positioning in the strong narratives, the strong tokens on major dips, so you can build up that positionality throughout a long period of time. And like over the past few months, like I've spoken a lot about narratives like AI, and meme coins as well. Meme coins have slowed. AI is performing really well, but you can't time the exact rotations. You never know when something's going to pop off. So for like the past month, I've been talking about AI. They were sluggish for a few weeks, right? And everyone was kind of going, oh, this will never run, this will never run. And then eventually just pops all at once. And that's going to be the exact same thing for like other strong sectors like memes, etc. You want to do your accumulation when they're chopping sideways, when they're dipping, and then you want to hope that you're positioned in the right coins and the right sectors that when alts do catch a bid like they did this week, that you actually outperform. So you don't really need to wait for that like final altcoin season to then go into alts, because by the time that happens, a lot of the strong narratives would have already caught a bid first, because that's what happens in crypto. The strong narratives catch the bid first, and then you eventually see everything run. But by then, like, AI, memes, RWA, like these stronger sectors may have already pulled like 3 to 4, 5 X's, whilst, your majors are just starting to wake up. So that's why I don't really believe in timing BTC dominance in terms of like alt season, but it certainly is a good indicator to at least watch and just monitor the propensity of the market to shift more towards alts versus not in alts, because that kind of dictates are we in easy mode or are we in hard mode. And obviously easy mode opens up a bunch of opportunities for trading. Eric Crown here says that if you do look at the December monthly returns, and he's an analyst that I really respect, you can see that the average win return over December for Bitcoin is 31.41%. If that does occur this December, that would theoretically take Bitcoin, based on its current price of $95,000, to $126,000. I think that's a little bit aggressive for this December, but it certainly is a nice reminder that, look, Decembers are, especially in election years, which is the major data point you have to take into account here, theoretically good months for crypto and the stock market. Actually, election years are the best periods for the stock market, with a probability of 83.3% probability of bullishness during December in an election year. So that is certainly a bullish factor. We also have timing and seasonality in our favor as well in regards to the Bitcoin cycle. You can see Bitcoin has now actually entered its price discovery phase for the cycle via breaking past that 2021 all-time high. In 2017, it went up 1,600% from that point. In 2021, it went up plus 245%. Even if we do half of that move, so 120%, that would also put Bitcoin in that 150K region. So when you look at the Bitcoin price action like this, I think it's clear that the probability of continued upside is higher than the probability of downside here. And that's why, in general, in bull markets, it pays to be a bull. You can get flush outs and the market can go against you, and it doesn't mean that every day is going to be bullish. We might see a little bit of a correction this week. We might see a deeper correction next week. Who knows? But the entire point is to have that general directional bias right. If you're correct on that over a multi-month time frame, you're generally going to walk away from the cycle ahead. And that's why in crypto, like, the most important thing is actually just surviving. If you're a bull in crypto, you often end up winning, but the market will do its best to shake you out. There'll be liquidation events, there'll be FUD events, there'll be times where certain coins pump that you don't hold. It'll kind of tempt you to rotate. It'll have you questioning your thesis. But in the end, it's the people that can maintain resolute and actually survive that end up really succeeding in crypto. So if you've survived this long until the end of 2024, and we've been through FTX and all that stuff in 2022, I think you've already proven that you can survive, and survivors are the ones that are going to win this cycle. The ones that are going to lose are the ones that didn't survive 2022 and are just going to come back into the market maybe Q1 next year when alts are really exploding. And there's even some coming back now, obviously, for coins like XRP and Cardano. And those people are going to lose because the majority of price discovery will happen in this initial run-up, and they're going to come in at the top, get super bullish and end up marking the top for crypto. Like, that's unfortunately what happens. It may not be in Q1, it may actually happen later in the year, but when retail really pours in to the market, that is when you want to get a little bit concerned. And right now, I'm not so concerned because we're like seeing more of that early like rotationary capital, like people that are already in crypto coming back into coins like XRP, and at the end of the day, that actually could be a bullish thing for alts. So now let's go through a weekly recap now that we've just touched on the state of the market and some general thoughts on macro directionality. This weekly recap is going to be pretty big. I've got to update you on a few of the AI coins. We've got to talk about Hyperliquid, what I think about that, and then I'm going to run you through my 2 coins that I am really eyeing as potential outperformers this week. There's one in particular that I think even tonight could potentially break out into price discovery. So that is quite exciting. Let's get into the weekly recap. Firstly, to state the obvious, AI agents and AI has been the dominant narrative. If you do look at some of the AI coins, they've been absolutely exploding. A lot of these we actually do hold in our portfolios. Like, for example, Imperial went ridiculous. It hit $300 yesterday. I called this at $70 in the Discord, and also I spoke about it on the YouTube channel at $50 when I had the founder on for an interview. Now it went up to $300, which is insane. That's like, what, a 6x return or a 4.5x return from the original call, which is pretty insane. For a 2-week 4.5x, that's almost unheard of, but we're hitting those kind of trades on this channel. It didn't just end there. We had Neural AI going absolutely bonkers from $6 when I first called it all the way up to $16. It's another 3x happening in just a matter of days. Guru also went absolutely insane. It's another one of my riskier low cap picks that absolutely exploded. This is obviously lower cap than Neural, which is I think over 100 mil now, and Imperial, which I think is like 50 to 60 mil now. But this one absolutely exploded from 0.02 to 0.06 at one point. So that was up 3x. And ENQAI is also up a lot. DEAI also did really well. PINLINK also absolutely exploded. If you want to look at PINLINK here, it went to $1.22. I first called this at 50 cents. So we absolutely crushed it over the last few days. Mode as well. I called that at 14. It's now up at 0.03. Sorry to you guys that are like, oh, Miles, you're just bragging and, too cocky, whatever. I mean, I wouldn't normally be this intense about it, but like, I've really just got to highlight how insane the last few days were in terms of price performance. Like, this is almost abnormal. It's becoming the new normal because our alpha seems to be getting better and better and better. And that's because I'm really bolstering my research team and really focusing on getting you the best quality setups. But it's just happened to all have kind of played out in the space of a few days. So anyone, especially, even if you're watching YouTube, you've made money, but especially if you're in the Discord, you got all the early alpha on all of these calls and you did really well. I actually did a recon of the profits for each of these coins, and you can see here over the past 2 weeks the profits from first call to current price and peak gains. So Mode plus 152%, 168 peak, EMP 315% peak, DEAI plus 80% peak, PIN plus 150%, Neural plus 164, Guru plus 330, all in the space of 2 weeks. And the Discord is a place where I share all of my new portfolio additions first, and I'll just scroll through the recent calls on the alpha channel now, and you can see that we have not been missing with the alpha in the group. Here's Neural at $6 in the group. It's now, as you can see in front of you, sitting at $15. So there was Neural. Then a couple of days later, we called Imperial at 72. This ran up to 300 yesterday. Then we called DEAI, which also did amazingly. 52, it ran up to $1. It's now consolidating at around 80 cents. We've had a bunch of amazing trades. We had Mode at 14 or 1.4 cents. This ran up to almost 4 cents at one point. I think it's now still up at 3x. So it's been absolutely amazing. Obviously lucky at $3. That went to 17. That's consolidating now at around $9. I'll talk about that in a few minutes because I do have some alpha there. So we have been on an absolute cook. And over the next couple of days, because the alpha is not slowing down, I'm going to be sharing 2 new positions in the Discord that I recently added to my portfolio. So if you do want the earliest alpha, make sure to come be a part of the community. I don't think there's a more profitable community in crypto. I'm not just saying that. I've been in other communities, and I mean, the results are public. Like, I can be fully transparent. I'll scroll through all of the calls on the channel, pause the video. Every single thing we've touched has turned to absolute gold. And I'm very transparent as well. When we lose money, we do reports. As you can see here, I actually posted a recon of all the recent calls, and there were 2 things we lost money on. SPX, we lost 10% on, which is actually now recovered to break even, so it's not even down. And what else was down? EMP was down, but then it ended up being up. So 16 of our last 17 calls have been profitable based on the latest prices. So come and join, come be a member. It's a great time to join and be a part of the community because we are really, really ramping things up in there. And yes, it's not too late to get alpha because I will be sharing 2 new positions, which I think have a lot of potential, and I'm always posting new stuff there. I've been kind of saving these because I've given like too many new coins recently. So, I've let the market digest some of these coins, and now I'm going to be sharing the new ones. So one's a meme coin and one's an AI coin. And those are just 2 that I'm thinking of that come to mind, but there'll probably be a lot more plays. Obviously, we've got all the traders and education happening in the Discord, which is giving like daily setups and trades and education for those as well that want to actively trade. So there's something for everyone in there. The other thing I want to say, because people have been asking like, Miles, how are you finding all of these calls recently? I have really put a huge focus on research in my business. So I've actually expanded my research team, and we have this amazing pipeline at the moment of I've got these team of researchers that are scanning the market every single day. So new hot narratives. So recently it's been AI. We're looking a lot now into decentralized science plays. We're looking into all sorts of new niches. Gaming is a real focus of ours, and we're finding like all the gems in the market. So we find 30 projects a day, then we condense them down into the top 10. I review them. If they're good, we'll look further into them, and then we make a short list. In that short list, we try and meet with as many teams as possible so we can try and extract alpha. And at the end of the day, the teams are the most important part of the project. So if you can actually meet the team, it's going to significantly increase your chances of picking a winner because you can really see what direction they're on. Are they a good team? Are they serious? Are they not? We've found a lot of amazing projects which turned out to be duds because we met the team and they were horrible. And we've found some projects which looked crap looking at their website, but we met the team, we're like, wow, some serious stuff is happening. So the reason why we've been so like on the ball recently, and we'll probably continue to do so hopefully, is because we have this amazing like research process and research team that we have been ironing out. And I actually hire a lot of my researchers from the Mars High Club community. So even later today, I'm hiring another researcher because I want to keep expanding things, keep finding more alpha. So if you are in the Discord, you will get access to actually apply for that position. So that will be a position that is mostly focused on research. We also have some position to help me on the content creation side. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, the reason why we're able to find a lot of alpha and help you guys succeed this cycle and outperform the market is because we are getting actual alpha. There are a lot of content creators which say they have alpha, but at the end of the day, like they don't really have an edge on the market. They don't really go the extra mile when it comes to research. So like I'm trying to create that edge, and that's actually a good lesson for you as a trader as well, or an investor. Like your profitability as an investor all depends on the edge that you're able to attain. And that can be attained through skill level in terms of trading. That can be attained through time in the market and experience. That can be attained through connections. I think the skill that I've attained is a mix of both. I've been in the space for 5 years, but I also have connections in the space and a big brand, which helps me actually get in the room with teams and VCs and founders to like extract alpha. And that actually helps in terms of being able to get an edge in the market. So the way you get an edge will be, different from the way another person gets an edge. But what I'm doing here with the channel, with my Twitter, and specifically with my Discord, is I'm using the edge that I have and I'm sharing that with you guys. So like when you sign up for the Discord community, you're basically paying to get that edge, and you're effectively tapping into my entire reach as well, because I've got 900,000 followers across all platforms, and you're kind of getting access to that leverage because I'm using those connections to help benefit you. So yeah, I think that's why we're just on another level here. And anyway, you guys are probably sick of hearing me like brag. It's not actually bragging. I just want to give like you guys some more insight into like how I actually, go about and conduct my research process, because I don't know if there's a misconception, but I think some people think like YouTube creators, because maybe this is true for most people, we just kind of make stuff up on the fly, and I just get onto these videos and I just start LARPing and looking at random charts and shilling random bags. But actually my process for speaking about coins, researching coins, entering positions, it's actually a lot of the time really detailed, and it's a really like thought through process. And I'm very like deliberate about what I speak about. I don't just speak about a bunch of stuff like randomly. Maybe back in the old days I did, the early days of the channel, even early days in crypto banter, because I didn't really understand, the power I had as a creator and the responsibility I had, but B, like actually how to extract proper alpha from the market. I think a lot of the time I was just getting lucky, but if you're able to kind of like really iron down how you actually get an edge in the market, like I think I've been able to do, then you'll just go to another level in terms of your portfolio and your trading. And I think you guys you're seeing that, right, in the results. Like if you've been listening to the videos and you've checked your portfolio this week, I have no doubt in my mind you've been outperforming the market. So yeah, it has been one of the craziest weeks of the year, but remember, guys, when you do make a lot of profits on trades, I said this earlier on my Twitter, I said this in my Discord last night as well, like do make sure to take some profits. Like even though I'm bullish on the AI sector and I think a lot of these have more upside, I have been skimming off the top of a lot of these positions just to kind of recoup my stables. I guess it's a fortunate position to be in, but my stablecoin weighting went down from 20 to like 13% just because everything was performing so well. I hadn't like invested more, things just started to outweigh the stablecoin portion of my portfolio. So then what I had to do was I had to like trim some of my profits to get back to 20% stables, because that's like where I'm comfortable. I've kind of said this the whole cycle. I like holding around 20%. It's where I feel like I do my best trading from an emotional perspective when I hold around 20%. So I focused today on trimming. We've already seen a bit of a dip in the market. I don't know if it'll keep going. My short-term like bias isn't necessarily my skill. I'm not really a short-term trader. As I said, I'm better in terms of positioning in like strong coins, in strong underlying narratives. For like mid-term trading, I would say that's my big skill. Obviously, short-term we have managed to do well, but always make sure that you are kind of following the mantra of DCAing on dips and taking profits on rips. That's pretty much the motto that I stick by in crypto, and I think it's going to hold you in really good stead if you do that. So, if you are up, don't be afraid to take some initials out, take some percentage out. If you don't have any stables, if you're really high in stables, you can hold if you have conviction. But at least for me, I just wanted to top up a little bit. Not huge sells by any means relative to my portfolio, but just, topping up that stablecoin weighting just a little bit across the board. Not just AI, but on some meme coin positions, on some other rubbish that I was holding, just trying to condense everything and resetting for the week. So there were a couple coins I hold, two in particular, which I didn't sell. I actually added to them because I think they have the strongest chance of performing this week. And if the market drops this week, I think these have the strongest chance of holding up. So on a bit more of a short-term basis, but these are also long-term trades, there are two tokens in particular which I do want to focus on right now. So the first one kind of stems from the XRP narrative right now. So XRP is now a top 3 token. I think at one point it had flipped Tether. It's actually dropped back down to number 4, but top 3 token excluding Tether now. Before this video, when I fact checked it, it was actually number 3, but that's because, as you can see here, it has a slight pullback in the past couple hours. But XRP running is really interesting because what it's doing is it's bringing more eyeballs and attention back into the space. So people at face value, if you don't hold XRP, you might view this as a bearish thing. But a lot of people are going to go back into crypto because they're seeing XRP or they're checking it or they're buying it, and then they're going to go down the rabbit hole. Same thing happened for me last cycle when I bought Ethereum, right? I just bought ETH when it started pumping, and the same thing's happening with a lot of XRP maxis at the moment. That was the trigger for me to go and look more into DeFi when DeFi summer started to arise, because now you could actually do something with your Ethereum, right? It's similar with XRP. When people see it pumping, they're going to go back into the market because they're going to realize, something's happening here, and then that can actually lead them to going and watching more crypto YouTube or going down the crypto rabbit hole more, learning more, and being exposed to other coins in the market. So XRP performing well, I think, is actually a great thing for crypto in general. So it's definitely not something I look at bearishly, even though I don't own XRP. Like, I'm happy for this to keep pumping, go to $5-10. Like, why not? It's going to be great for crypto. The other thing we've had this week is the huge Hyperliquid airdrop. We've had people making a bunch of money on memes recently. We've had, obviously, Bitcoin performing well. Like, all of this gives retail a reason to come back, which is kind of the perfect storm for, more price appreciation amongst altcoins. Now, here's the narrative I'm getting to. XRP, I think, has triggered like a bit of a rotation into utility. And you're even seeing this over the last week. Like, what are the coins that are performing? XRP, HBAR, Algo, these like ISO, Swift payment narrative coins, like these TradFi coins, right? And you've also seen utility like gaming and AI really performing well. You haven't seen memes and more like speculative stuff performing that well. Like, they aren't tanking, but they aren't outperforming by any means. So I think we are seeing a bit of a utility rotation. And in my opinion, this bodes very, very well for a couple of coins. But the one I want to focus on today is RWA, because I think XRP kind of represents this contingent of the market that wants to bid like a real TradFi utility-based narrative of like payments processing. And I think that if retail is going back to buying utility coins, buying TradFi coins, then you're going to see RWA doing quite well. And all it takes is Larry Fink to come out and, speak a bit more about tokenization, which I'm sure he will at some point for this to catch another bid. Now, I'm not going to focus on every single AI coin RWA coin under the sun today, because I've spoken about my RWA portfolio a lot in the past. Like Mantra, Ondo, CHEX, and CPOOL will be my biggest bags. But I did want to highlight CHEX today, specifically as a coin that could perform well this week for a couple of reasons. One, I'm hearing murmurings of some big announcements this week. And two, I'm seeing the chart looking really bullish. So we are rejecting off the previous all-time high, but if this starts to break, I think this could have momentum to run to $1 really quick. Like, I genuinely believe that, and I backed this up with my own portfolio moves. I said before I was taking profits across a lot of alts, right? I didn't take any profits on CHEX. In fact, I added more CHEX. So like, it was the only big bag of mine that I didn't take profits on this weekend. And that is because I think it's going to have a good week. If not good week, a good next period in the market. So I'm really bullish on this one. I'm still bullish on CPOOL, obviously. That's still doing well. But I think in terms of narrative right now, CHEX looks like the top one for me. They've got some killer stuff behind the scenes. It's going to become clear very soon. But absolutely killer business model. If you want like the easiest way to think of CHEX, it's the Shopify of RWA. Like, there are so many big corporations, companies, clients actually using CHEX as infra, you wouldn't even know it, because they're offering like RWA asset tokenization as a service. Just like Shopify allows you to build a website. You don't really know it's Shopify maybe until you're on the checkout page, but it's all backed and powered by Shopify. And if you can build this like product which allows these big companies to access RWA, and you're the underlying infra, like, that is at the end of the day the biggest money maker. And some of the contracts they've got, I'm just so bullish on this as an RWA protocol right now, and it's my biggest RWA bag right now because I just keep adding it keeps performing well, and I don't really want to sell. Like, I really am targeting a build plus on this. And if you do look at Mantra and other coins, I think Mantra's great, right? But at a 3 bill val and Ondo at a 5 bill val, when CHEX has, in terms of partnerships, just as good, if not better partnerships, and it's sitting at 400 mil, like, how can you tell me this doesn't have 10x upside? Like, in my opinion, it does. So yeah, that is one that I'm certainly looking at. The other coin that I'm looking at this week that I added that I didn't sell any of, and I literally haven't sold a cent of this, is Lucky Coin. So even though it was at $17, I've been very transparent. I bought around like $3, right? In terms of my average buy price. It might be a bit higher now because I recently added. I haven't sold any. I've just been buying more because there's some big stuff coming here. I can't say what, but there is some big stuff behind the scenes, and this is exactly what we wanted because it's now in an accumulation phase. So what happened was there was a crazy blow off top, and I even said, if you remember my Lucky Coin video, I said wait for the dips. I showed that crypto dog tweet at the end of the video. I said, guys, at some point this is going to have a big dip. That's when you want to buy. And we're actually entering that period now. Now, I believe if you buy at $8, $9, $10, $11, it won't make much of a difference long term. Hopefully when it's, at the 3-figure mark. But right now, this is actually really good for the long-term community building of the project. Why? Because if this ran straight to 50 straight away, that's really bad, because it means that retail doesn't have time to accumulate. Now, retail has time to slowly position in the coin, and that actually builds more community members. The Telegram's been exploding in terms of members. The engagement is doing really well on X, because you have a chance for people to actually buy in. So if you did miss the initial Lucky run, basically, if you didn't watch that video and you don't know what I'm talking about, Lucky Coin is a meme coin. It's the OG Doge. So Doge, as you can see here, actually forked from Lucky Coin in the early days. If you look at the initial Doge client 1.0, you can actually see that on the wallet encryption, it actually references Lucky Coins because it was a direct fork. So Lucky, for me, as the OG Doge, has such a strong narrative, and obviously having the luck element behind it, I think makes it really appealing, especially for like the Chinese narrative, because they're big believers in luck, and that's what Chinese New Year's about, luck, wealth, prosperity. It's such a big part of their culture. So yeah, Lucky Coin for me just has so many ticks, and there is some big stuff coming. There's a tweet here. When you really understand something better than the market, it's amazing how calm and relaxed you are, even with very large positions. I really resonated with this tweet because my lucky bag is huge and I haven't sold any, and I'm just buying more. And it's like, it is a big bag, I'll be honest, one of my biggest bags now. And I haven't sold any. It's just been a natural progression of me getting in low, but also adding more, which is, brought it to this place. But I am very relaxed, right? Even with a large position, because when you understand something better than the market, it's amazing how calm and relaxed you can be. And on the flip side, when you have little to no edge or insight, how much anxiety and stress it can cause over tiny moves. Do you guys relate to this? Like when you don't have any insight and you're holding a coin, it's like, you can get really stressed. But when you have insight and when you're confident of the direction of it long term, it's just so chill. That's the definition of conviction. And you generally only want to be getting into coins where you have that genuine conviction. And I'm telling you now, I have it, and I haven't sold, and I've bought more, and I'm buying more, because $8 for this, I think in hindsight, is going to look quite cheap. Of course, I could be wrong, but I think there's some good stuff coming. I really, really do. Over on Lucky Coin. Now let's discuss Mode very, very quickly. I think Mode has been one of our best performers over the last couple of weeks. It wasn't just, by the way, these picks that I've had in the AI sector, they weren't just given in Discord. I also posted my portfolio 3 days ago, my top AI crypto altcoin portfolio. A lot of these I posted when they were much cheaper, especially like PIN, which went up another 50%. EMP actually 4x from this video. ENQAI went up 30%. Spectral went up 30%. Neural went up 50%. So obviously, Discord guys got the earliest alpha and made like 200-400% gains, but even on YouTube, you still would have made like 50% gains across a lot of these. On EMP, 300% gains in just a matter of a few days here. So that's also why you need notifications on, so you actually get the the earliest alpha, because if we hit the right narrative, things can move really quick. So you want to be watching the videos like pretty much as soon as they come out, right? But one token I mentioned in this video was Mode Network, and I just wanted to give you a quick update here. So CHEX and Lucky are the two coins I didn't take profits on. Mode as well, I haven't taken profits on. So those are the three out of my entire portfolio. I mean, there was obviously others, but I didn't actually sell a cent of these. In fact, as I said, Lucky and CHEX I added. Mode I'm just holding because I still think at the valuation it's at, if you actually want to look at it, MODE, it's sitting at a market cap of 85 million, fully diluted of 340 million. Like, for me, 85 million for one of the biggest AI agent chain/marketplaces in the space, it's not crazy. Like, if you actually look at what they're... So, yes, it may pull back, may consolidate, but I still think it has legs to the upside, because what they're doing is they're basically offering the App Store for AI agents. So there are some very cool agents that are now, like, deploying on Mode. So AXAL's one of them. AXAL is freaking cool. Like, as I started to dig down the rabbit hole of some of these new AI agents, I found some banger protocols, and AXAL was one of the top protocols that I actually found, which basically allows you to create verifiable agents for any task. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, this is a screenshot from their application. Obviously, when it's live, things are going to change a bit. But this basically allows you to allocate with AI agents into certain coins, execute on-chain trading strategies, DeFi strategies using agents. So basically, it handles your portfolio management all on-chain, which is freaking cool, right? And in the future, it can even offer prompts and suggestions and tweak things to optimize. So I think we're heading towards a future where you don't even, as I've said in a few shows, you're not even going to need to trade for yourself, optimize for yourself, because AI is going to be able to do it better. AI, for a fact, is going to be able to do a lot of things better than humans, communicate better. Me as a deep fake will probably be a better host on YouTube. I don't know what's going to happen to content creation, like, thread writing, tweets, like all of that can be done better by AI with a bit of human like input and curation. But especially crypto, like this is happening quickly. This boom into like AI agent trading, autonomous on-chain trading, etc. So AXAL is very, very cool. I am very excited to see this one launch. The token isn't live, but it should be happening soon. And they're backed by CMT Digital, and they're part of the A16Z crypto startup accelerator. But it does have a relationship to Mode because they launched on the Mode network AI agent app store. So Mode right now, as the proxy that you can bet on, becomes the liquid play, but definitely put this on your radar as an unreleased project to watch. In terms of another unreleased project to watch, I also think you should be keeping an eye on CreatorBid. This is a slightly different concept. It's not really for... So I like also hitting different niches. So the AXAL play basically allows you to manage your portfolio, trade on chain, etc. That's like an autonomous on-chain agent. CreatorBid is allowing you to like deploy your own agents, like agent memes, autonomous like keys that you can basically speculate on based on creators. So it is quite different. And I am keeping my eye on this launch as well. So those are two upcoming launches. I'm watching if they do launch at reasonable valuations, which I think they will. You can potentially get into them. And I'm not promising anything right now, but very, very soon in the Mars High Club, we may be launching a platform to actually enable you to get into a lot of these early. That's going to be absolutely incredible. So I do recommend you are part of the community if you do want that, because a lot of these teams that I'm speaking to were actually potentially, I can't promise anything right at this second, but we can potentially offer some nice perks or early entries based on allocations to the community. That's something, a little bit of water to go under the bridge there, but something that I've been working on, and we've been developing the platform for like 8 months, but finally with some of these upcoming projects, we're actually going to be able to test out the platform and give Discord members early access, which is very cool. Next I want to talk about the Hyperliquid airdrop. Then I want to just summarize my strategy for AI agents, and a bit of alpha to also flow under the bridge here. To wrap up the end of this show. I think it's been a good alpha pack show, but we'll keep bringing the heat for the rest of it here. So Hyperliquid, we have to talk about Hyperliquid. The reason this show's longer, by the way, is because I haven't uploaded in a few days and so much has happened, but we have to talk about Hyperliquid because it was the biggest freaking crypto airdrop of all time. Maybe Uniswap or Optimism technically were bigger, or Jupiter dollar-wise, but the average per person here was insane. $28,500 per person for the Hyperliquid airdrop. It was insane. I don't know if you're on Twitter. Congratulations, by the way, to anyone that got it. I actually did a video on the 14th of August. Now, of course, if I did it earlier in the year, you would have gotten a bigger airdrop. But I did get a lot of people telling me, like, thanks, Miles, for this video because it helped you get an airdrop. So if you actually watch this video, I went through Hyperliquid. I called it the next Solana, just in terms of, like, potential. And I went through the entire strategy of how to get involved, how to trade, how the airdrop points work. I even gave you some screenshot alpha from a chat that actually had the best strategy for farming. So, and then we had predictions on the market cap of Hyperliquid, which ended up being lower than we thought. So I did this whole video, and I want to congratulate anyone that actually got the airdrop off the back of it. Some of you may have gotten the average here of 28,500. I know people that got even more in the 6-figure range. So it was absolutely mental. If you didn't get it, I didn't get a big one either, because a lot of my wallets, I didn't click the terms and conditions thing. It was a little bit annoying. For wallets to be eligible, on each wallet, you needed to click the terms and conditions, and I didn't do that on every wallet. So I didn't get a very big airdrop myself, personally, but I know a lot of you that did, and for me, that's actually more important. So if you did, let me know in the comments. If you didn't, join the club of people that didn't really get a big airdrop because they kind of bottled it a little bit. And I know a few people which unfortunately missed out because of that. It was a little bit annoying. But overall, I think apart from that terms and conditions thing, the execution was of the airdrop was very good. And because of that execution, I think Hyperliquid in terms of community is actually quite well positioned here to go even higher. So it's sitting at a 2.8 bill market cap, not cheap by any means, but I could see this 50 bill plus. Like, Ansem here points out that it's a top 3 app in crypto. Stats already taking substantial market share from large incumbents by Bybit and Binance. All power users in crypto heavily incentivized and aligned to continue using the platform. It's the best perpetual DEX solution that we've seen in terms of tech and usability. And the reason why I think it can keep going bigger is because a lot of the AI agents use Hyperliquid. Spectral, for example, Spectral Labs, their entire autonomous agent trading is based on Hyperliquid. Like, isn't that insane? Like, so you're getting all this. Not only is Hyperliquid going to be earning money through normal people trading, but the AI agent trading is going to like prop up a lot of volume and thus revenue for Hype on the chain. So I think Hype has a lot of potential as a token. So, I mean, it already has started to dip. I'm honestly starting to build a position here. I got a small airdrop, but it wasn't as big as I'd like. If I want to build that big position, 6 figures plus, I'm going to start averaging into more Hyperliquid now because I think it's good. Could it keep going down? Sure. Hard to do TA. That's why I'm on CoinGecko of such a new token. But Hyperliquid is one that I definitely want to add to my portfolio. I think it has upside from here. I think Ansem's right. I think it can definitely run to become a top 5 protocol, especially if the agent thesis kicks off. So Hyperliquid, funnily enough, kind of becomes a bet on agents. I know it sounds crazy, but if you think about it, kind of is. A lot of these protocols are using Hyperliquid as agent plays. If you want the full thesis, I love Kyle's post here on Hyperliquid. You can pause the video here and you can pause the video here to read the rest of it. Cool. Don't want to spend too much time looking at that, but definitely worth checking out that tweet if you have some time. Now let's go through AI agents to wrap up the video. What am I doing with them now? What are some AI agent plays? And what's the best way to approach the market? Obviously, a lot of you are already in some of the plays I've talked about, like Mode, EMP, etc. EMP is Imperial, some of the infra plays as well that we've shared, Neural. But if you weren't in them, or just if you're looking for an update on what to do with AI agents, let's run through a couple scenarios here. So they ran really hard on the weekend. A lot of the agents that really ran were like the virtuals agents. They performed the best. Like if you look here, virtual protocols up 122% this week. A lot of the agents went up 200% plus. A lot of them have now dropped 30 to 40%. So you are seeing that pullback across a lot of the agents. I want to read out this tweet from ALO because I kind of think there are some similarities right now to AI agents and DeFi summer, which is one of the things that really got me into crypto. So I really resonate with the flow of funds that happened during this DeFi wave. So he says, AI agents autumn happened, likely goes into accumulation for a while, comes back later, potentially next year in force the same way DeFi did in 2021. It's going to be a very hot sector this bull. That it is. It's hot. It's the hottest sector in crypto alongside memes for sure. Deepin tends to do well when everything else isn't. Then he goes into Shill Link. I don't want to focus on the Link bit or Deepin, although I've got lots of Deepin plays which I think will perform well. PINLINK's one that I recently added. WMT is one that I've been bullish on, performing really well. Aethia is one that I invested in, got some nodes there in the early days, so I'm invested in Deepin, but I do want to focus on this first thing here that ALO said. So in terms of AI agents going back into accumulation, what typically happens if things go back into accumulation is capital concentrates back into the leaders. So you see all of the speculative stuff run and create blow off tops like a lot of these agents, but then money flows back into the leaders. That's why my main focus has been on AI like infra. So if you look at my agent infra list here that I quickly put together, like I've got things like SPEC, Mode, Heart, Neural, EMP, Guru that all cover AI agents. And that's like the main focus. But the other thing is like focusing on some of the OG leaders. I think GOAT now pulling back, and this might be a bit of a slow burn. It might take a couple months, but maybe even in a few weeks, you might see this to start catching a rotation again. I think it's only a matter of time, honestly, before this gets on Binance OKX. Like the OG AI agent coin, I think is always going to be a leader. So I still think this is an opportunity because it's like the OG agent meme. It just makes sense. I still hold half of my GOAT, and I actually have been accumulating some more to get back up to that original bag size after I took profits at around 80 to 90 cents, because I think, the original Mark Andreessen A16Z, like AI meme shill, at some point, it's going to come back. Fartcoin as well. I'm not in this, but I definitely could see after this major dip why there's potentially a proposition here in terms of DCAing into that. It was another one of the original AI memes that ran, although I do prefer GOAT. Then so the infra first, I do prefer it. Then looking at the OG like leading memes, because as I said, a lot of the rotational capital will go back into the leaders, and then virtual makes a lot of sense, I think, in terms of continuation with a lot of these like riskier proxies going back into the base protocol. Those are the plays that I'm looking at. Zero X Jeff has a pretty good tweet on how to position yourself for the agentic blockchain cycle. Once again, I'll let you pause here for step 1, pause here for step 2 and 3. And pause here for step 4, because I think this pretty much summarizes the strategy that I would follow in terms of positioning myself for the agentic blockchain cycle, as they're calling it. Now, there is one coin, there's actually two, which I want to highlight right now that have had really cool recent announcements. Firstly, EMP has absolutely killed their latest deployment. That's the reason why they ran up to $300 from when I first called it at something stupid on the YouTube video at 68, and I think it was a similar price, like $68 as well, or $70 in the Discord. So it actually ran up to 300 at one point. It was one of the strongest performers. As you can see, 300, it's now sitting at 211. The reason why it's performed so well is because they hit a really unique niche in terms of the agent sector, because they're not like some protocol where you just like make an agent on a website. They actually use X for you to create AI agents, which is freaking cool. So basically, you can fair launch your own token just tweeting on X. How insane is that? How insane is that? I'll show you how you can actually do it. So 1, tag Simulacrum in a post with the name, ticket, description, and image of your token. 2, our agent deploys your token on base, responds with the contract address. 3, we concentrate liquidity to prevent snipers from taking control. Every X wallet is with Simulacrum. Anyone on X can easily trade your token by making a post after adding funds to their Simulacrum network. Like, this is so smart and genius. When I met the team and I first discussed this with them, I was mind blown, and that's why I ended up taking a position. And recently I've been advising them on marketing strategy to get the word out here, because like it's absolutely insane what they've built here. And interestingly, in terms of tokenomics, the fees from all of this actually go back to drive revenue into Imperial, so EMP, and fees are collected from the LP are split 50-50 between the token creator and the protocol. So the token creator as well can earn fees for having a successful protocol. Now, one of the biggest ones, and the first one, is called Simi. It's the first token launched on Simulacrum, which is their like official agent play. So if you wanted a higher beta play, in case you think you missed EMP, which by the way you haven't longer term, but you know, if you want to play like a proxy, kind of like the virtualist agents, Simi could be a play that you can have a look at, and you can see it's already collected a lot of fees, like over $100,000 in fees. But it's pretty cool that anyone can do this on X. Like, how cool is that? Not using a wallet. I think a lot of the AI agent protocols that'll succeed, they won't require like janky, interfaces. They're just going to be like utilizing platforms you already use, like Telegram, social media, etc. That's why Telegram bots have been so big, right? Because you can like basically interact or trade on a Telegram bot on your phone instead of having to like interact with some janky Web3 interface. So yeah, Simulacrum was really, really cool on the EMP side, and I'm actually going to give Simi a follow here. Let's actually see what Simi's posting. I don't know what it's posting, a bunch of random stuff, however it's configured. So yeah, that's really cool. And then the other one I wanted to highlight your attention to is Humans AI. So interestingly, Virtual's really run, but there's one that was around like way before Virtual. They've been building since, I think, 2022 or even beforehand. No, they deployed in 2022, so they would have been building like 2020. So a lot before like the AI agent narrative started to get hot. And Humans AI is basically the blockchain of AI that allows you to basically have all of these agents actually running, and the creation of agents, which I'll show you in a second, a video that from Rand's crypto banter stream the other day. But Humans is, I think, going to be a big player in this space. They have also a very established team that, as I said, has been around for a long time. Like, you can see their 2023 recap, they were already working on a lot of this stuff, like their AI blockchain, their agents. They've also got really good BD. So they're not like, and there's nothing wrong with more like, cypherpunk, style developers in crypto. I think it's great. And some of the protocols I talk about are that. But Humans has like good BD in terms of like their traditional contacts. They've been speaking at lots of summits. They've got big partnerships. That really helps. Actually, if you go onto humans.ai, you'll actually see some of their partnerships here. you see they've been featured in the Financial Times, The Guardian, Euronews, BBC. So I think they're doing things really well. Now, in terms of the AI agent stuff, because I said I would show you that video. Where is the video here? You can see Ran, live on the show, actually deployed an agent on the Humans AI network, which is really, really cool. You can see you can put the image generation, you've got your personality, the way they're going to interact, the way they're going to talk. It's pretty crazy. So they're another platform that has the infra for this, but also doing things beyond just AI agents. So yeah, Humans AI is one that I like, and I thought I would mention it today because... Let me actually get the chart up here. It hasn't run much, right? So a lot of the other AI tokens I'm talking about have run, and that doesn't mean there isn't still opportunity, but you know, you're not getting in on a dip, whereas this, you're actually getting in on a dip. It was 5 cents earlier in the year. It's now sitting at 2 cents, and to me, that's an opportunity considering if you want to look at the market cap of Humans AI, what's it sitting at now? It's sitting at 129 mil market cap, and then you've got Virtual sitting at what, 1.3 billion. So I mean, just based on market cap discrepancy alone, I think there could potentially be an opportunity there. So yeah, that is one that I'm still holding, and I still think could do quite well, and wanted to talk about it today because I haven't talked about it much before, but I think I've spoken about it once before on the channel. But yeah, certainly one that I'm not fading here. And yeah, this is the spreadsheet again. If you do want to have a look at, this isn't necessarily my buy list. I mean, all the stuff down here I own. I don't own any of these tokens up here, but in terms of the Virtuals ecosystem, if you did want a DCA on this dip, which I don't think is a bad idea, but as Alo said, you might see a period of consolidation where these head lower. These are the plays that I'd look at. Obviously, Luna's the leading one, but AI was the OG one. AI XBT's recently become big. I don't think you can go wrong with these. I mean, kind of putting it alongside Virtual if you want exposure to that ecosystem. But some of the more pick and shovels like infra plays like EMP, like Mode, like Heart, Humans AI, Spectral, for me are a little bit better because they haven't had like that big bubble yet. Even though they have run, they haven't, I mean, they're starting to come back down now. So if you did miss them, you know, you have a chance at re-entering. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this video. Very alpha packed in my opinion. If you do want to join the Mars High Club, there's a link in the description below to come join. We've been absolutely crushing it in there. I'd love you to become and be a part of the community. We had an AMA last night, which was really fun. I answered a bunch of questions as well. And yeah, got 2 new calls dropping there very soon. And I'm going to see you in the next video tomorrow. Hopefully you have a lovely rest of your day. Peace out.